Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a book unhaul. I am very fortunate to live around some fantastic local used bookstores. Usually when I do these unhauls, I go to a store called Changing Hands, which is also amazing. But this time around, my husband and I went to a store called Bookmans. They are so great because not only do they have a lot of books, but they also have instruments, video games, movies, board games. They have so much stuff and they're huge. Also, we went on a Sunday. So Bookmans was the one that we went to kind of sort of just because they are open all the way until 10 on Sundays, which is so cool in and of itself. At the end of the video, you'll get to kind of explore the bookstore with us and you'll get to see how much store credit we get for the books that we bring in. All that said, the first thing that we brought in would be Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I happen to have owned both the US and the UK editions. I wasn't even going to do this originally, but my lovely friend Jashana over from the channel Jashana C, she last year for Christmas got me the UK edition, which I like more than the US edition, and so I decided for the continuation of the series, I'm just gonna stick to the UK editions. I don't absolutely love the US editions. I think they're really fun. They definitely have a cool sci-fi feel to them. But I just decided that of the two, I'd rather keep going with the UK editions. Next up, we took in Wicked King and Cruel Prince, partly because my very sweet, adorable little dog, Luna, I say little because in my mind she's still little, but she's a big dog. She's Nikita, and she's not a puppy anymore. But for some reason, she has gotten into the habit of chewing our books, so we have to kind of barricade this area now from her. We have a couch kind of right in front of this end table, and then we move our coffee table because it has wheels, so she can't get back here when we leave the house. But she happened to have damaged a little bit my copy of Cruel Prince and Wicked King. Not enough to where this used bookstore wouldn't take them in though. They take in books even if there's a little bit of damage, which is great. So I decided I would take these two in. Next up, we took in Child 44. This was a book my husband picked up because it was listed, I believe, as one of Time's best top 100 thrillers or something along those lines. And I know he was really enjoying it for a big portion of the book. It takes place in Russia in a time period when basically there's no fault in law enforcement whatsoever. That's kind of the idea. There's no fault in anything with the government, with law enforcement. And our main character happens to discover that they have wrongly accused someone, but to admit that would be to admit fault. And so he's out looking for the real killer, and they're all trying to act as if, oh no, we caught the real person, it's fine, we get to move on. And this main character is very much in danger by trying to pursue the real killer. There's some twists and turns. It sounds like it was incredibly bleak, and my husband was definitely eating it up. By the way, this is all secondhand because obviously I didn't read this, but this is all from what he told me. And he enjoyed a good majority of the book, but he wasn't really satisfied with the ending. The tone of the book kind of had a big shift toward the end in a direction that he wasn't really a fan of. So he decided he didn't quite agree with Time. This was one he just wanted to take in. Next up, I took in my First Law Trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. And you'll notice a trend that when I take in my books, I tend to take them in sometimes because I didn't end up loving them, but often because I feel like upgrading. And these particular editions, once again, I feel kind of bad for the bookstore, but they wanted everything. So the Cruel Prince and Wicked King I mentioned, they were a little damaged. And the second book in the First Law Trilogy, I spilled something on, but it wasn't that noticeable the way the covers look. It was only on the back, and it wasn't really that noticeable, but I don't know, in the back of my mind, I spilled Coke on it, which, you know, so healthy of me. But I just felt like every time I could smell it, and it made the pages feel kind of funny, and none of that's a big deal. I would have kept it if I really love those covers, which I do like those covers a lot. But I have seen that now there's some really cool covers that have come out that I also really like, and those covers seem to be the aesthetic that Orbit is going for in the new books with the little short stories that continue on with that world. And I very much am interested in reading those. I've heard they're even better than the original trilogy, so I'm thinking eventually I'd like to get this trilogy in those pretty hardbacks. and then maybe get the short stories in those same kind of a covers as well. The next 2 books we took in were books that I actually took in last time, but the other bookstore I mentioned at the beginning, they didn't take them, which was kind of surprising because they're in good, these ones were in good condition, and they are pretty popular books. One of them would be The Bird and the Blade, the other one would be Strange the Dreamer, and I love Strange the Dreamer, but I already got an upgrade of this. You guys are amazing. I basically just complained about the fact that I can't find the UK edition now, where it's not $200 or whatever people are charging for it because it's no longer in print. And sorry, my puppy's grunting. I don't know if you can hear her, but you guys saw that I whined and you're like, let's make her stop whining. And you guys, one of you sent me the book, which was so incredibly nice. So now I have the beautiful UK edition, and basically I'm like, I don't want this stupid American edition. Apparently Changing Hands didn't want it either, so we took it in to Bookmans. The other book, The Bird and the Blade, was one that I have mentioned a few times on my channel now. I was loving this book. I still highly recommend it to a lot of people. I'll link book reviews and everything like that for all of these down below if you want some more information about the books. But this was a story that I loved until the end. I just really hated the ending of this book, and so I knew that if I kept it, it would just frustrate me. Next up, we have slowly been converting, once again, our Full Metal Alchemist paperback bind-ups into the beautiful hardcovers that have been coming out. It seems like they are definitely going to release all of these at some point. Sometimes when things get a cover change, you never really see it all the way through the end, but these, it's looking like we're gonna get them all the way through the end. So my husband and I are like, you know what? We will eventually get all of these when they're all out. We've kind of started getting the hardback Full Metal Alchemists, so we're sort of at a weird half and half look. And so we just took in the rest of our paperbacks with the decision that we're going to eventually get all of the hardbacks. The last book that we took in was another one of my husband's, and that would be All the Pretty Horses. He did enjoy this book, but he just didn't absolutely love it, so he decided we'd take it in. That's it for everything that we brought into Bookmans. I'm now going to go into the kind of vlog portion of this. You guys will get to see at the end of the video how much store credit we got, and I'll add too that we also already had $13 in store credit from the last time we took stuff into Bookmans. So what you see us getting at the end is on top of that, and it was a pretty good amount. I was pretty pleased. So anyway, I'll let you guys go into that. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.